We've now arrived at the cephalopods, right? A really fascinating group of mollusks. Of all of the groups, these are definitely the most interesting in my opinion. The cuttlefish, amazing. Octopus, amazing. I hope I can do this group a little bit of justice. I'm going to lecture very briefly on them and then rely on a lot of YouTube videos to help you really grasp the complexity, the intricacies of their behavior, of their intelligence. Just again, a really neat group. Don't know if you're familiar with some of the different categories, right? Probably one of the more primitive forms is the Nautilus. It's got like a shell. I'll try to show you a picture of the video. We'll show it later. Squid, maybe calamari, and maybe you'd like to eat calamari. That's the squid, what we call the pelagic, the open ocean swimmers. They kind of travel in the open ocean. Very social type of cephalopod. And again, cephalopod meaning head, foot. So their tentacles basically extend from their head. The squids range from really small to the giant squid, which, is very mysterious, not very well known to science. A lot of old stories and tales about the squid is quite interesting. Octopus, I think most of you are familiar with. And then the cuttlefish. Here's the cuttlefish. These are really fascinating little, when I say little, they range from a foot maybe to about 3 feet. They're probably not that big. But again, amazing type of organisms. So this is a picture of a Nautilus. It has the shell. So it's basically a very primitive squid in a shell, if you want to think of it that way. There's other Cephalopods, there's other types of these, but this is a generic cephalopod sort of representation. We have a brain, like a split brain, two-sided brain. There'll be some sort of locomotory structure. We have the heart. We have some tentacles. Siphon that's going to help propel water in and out to help them swim. Probably the more common one that you may know of is the octopus, right? The 8-tentacled sort of mollusk cephalopod here. Amazing. Again, I know I'm not doing them justice here with this lecture, but we say they're masters of camouflage. The chromatophores that line their body, there's a really neat video on that. They change color, they reflect light, they can change texture, quite amazing. They have an intellectual capacity that is quite impressive. Difficult to accurately compare it to a human or other vertebrates, but they can learn, they can remember, they can solve problems, and again, quite ingenious ways for sure. There's a lot of different learning, cognition, research studies that are being done with octopus. They seem to have independent thinking tentacles, which is kind of mind-boggling how they process all that information. And again, they do show personality, they show intelligence, they show spatial awareness, and it's just, again, mind-boggling that we see all this in the same category as a chitin, as a slug, as a clam. So again, they don't quite seem to belong properly in this phylum, but yet they're still categorized as a mollusk. Again, I always go back to the venomous creatures. This is a really potent, and you've done a little bit of research on these on a prior LD50 assignment. These are the little blue ring octopus. Very tiny. There's again the beak that you would find, if I backtrack, at the center of all of that mess. So it'd be about right here in these cephalopods. We would have a modified radula, which is in the form of a beak. It looks like a bird beak, like a parrot beak. And again, it's quite powerful, can puncture skin, can puncture the soft sort of junctures of like crabs and lobsters, that kind of, probably not lobsters, but the crabs are a very common food source. So where their shells sort of hinge and interlock, there's sort of some soft tissue that these can puncture into. Again, very potent. The venom is like above and beyond what it needs to be in order to kill their prey. So yes, it is an offensive venom, but it seems to also have a very big defensive component as well. So again, different behavior, but we have again the beak of a squid. Squid are this more open ocean, very fast, maneuverable type of cephalopods. They can get quite big. If you've ever been to Rocky Point, Puerto Peñasco, that area, we have what we call the Humboldt squid, the red devil, sometimes they call them. They're about 6 foot long squid that it's an amazing predator, right? And it can be a little bit scary if you're out in waters where they're at too, right? So they don't typically you don't find one or two. It's typically a swarm of them that is impressive in a not very nice or fun way. So again, there's the squid, calamari, and then our cuttlefish. So cuttlefish, just their social dynamic behavior, their reproductive strategies, there's so many very fascinating things. So again, I'm going to let the videos, the videos that I'm going to upload into the Blackboard to really illustrate this a lot better than what I can here just sitting in the lecture. So again, cuttlefish, just the colors are amazing. So just showing you some of their, if they rely so much on color for communicating, they have to have good eyes to interpret all of these different colors. And matings, again, just different mating strategies for squid compared to octopus. And again, the videos will kind of elaborate on some of this as well. So with that, this will conclude my discussion on the mollusca. You'll have several associated YouTube videos that I think and I hope you will find interesting to really kind of highlight just the diversity and sort of I run out of adjectives, but the amazing cephalopods and some of these other groups. So with that, you'll have a great one, and I'll see you next time.